So a little while ago, I made another video about Scrivener, talking about how I thought it was for everyone, and I had some really interesting questions come up after that video, and today's video is all about one of those questions, which was, how do I get started in Scrivener? Now this is kind of summarizing a few different questions that I had, but they basically all were the same thing. So upon opening this program, you can be taken aback by how much stuff is right in front of you. There's just a bunch of different windows, it looks like, different subsections and different buttons, and it can be a lot to take in. Scrivener is very user-friendly, but like any piece of technology, you do have to get used to it in the beginning. So today's topic is all about getting started with Scrivener without spending too much time getting to know all of its features. In other words, how do you immediately start using Scrivener so that you can write with it every day? Alright, so I'm going to be doing something new today. This is actually going to be on my computer. So in a second, I'm going to switch over to my computer and you're not actually going to be able to see me. I know, it's so sad. But I hope it all goes well and I hope it actually ends up being a good tutorial, but it's basically just a good quick start guide to Scrivener. Alright, over to my computer. Welcome to my desktop. This is my awesome background that I have that is kind of an inspiration for the story that I'm currently writing. And this is actually, these are my little to-do list notes. Hide that one a little bit more. Those are little spoiler alerts, so you guys aren't allowed to see them. Anyway, I wanted to start right at the very beginning because I didn't want to leave anything out. This is what it looks like when you, actually it's up here. When you first click on Scrivener, you've never opened it before. On the left over here, since I am more concerned with novel writing, I always do the fiction one and just do novel. All right, so go ahead and click create. Boom, mine opened really, really tiny. I don't know why I did that. Actually, this looks pretty simple, but you kind of have a lot of little buttons over here. Basically, let me go ahead and open this for you really quick. You've got three main sections in Scrivener. You have your binder right here, and in it you have your manuscript. So right now this only has one little chapter in it just because they're showing you what it can do. So it has one little chapter and one little scene. This has your character maps, your front matter. You can set all these things on the left and you can see them from a really wide view. Wide as in the general view of things and how they kind of are ordered over here. So on the right over here, you could probably see that this changed a little bit. This is your inspector, and depending on what you have clicked on, this can show different things. So if I go into the scene right here, this is what, when you're writing, this is what it usually looks like. So you have a little area right here that you can write a synopsis in for your scene. You have your label, your status. I've talked about these in my previous post. And then here's just some extra notes you can write. Sometimes when I'm writing my scene over here, if I think of something that I'm not going to be able to write immediately right then, I will put a little note right here, like, oh, Sarah needs to go pick up her dog, whatever. Finally, in this big white spot right here, you have your editor right here. Now, this is one that also can change depending on what you have clicked on. As you can see right there, it kind of switched. So this is defaults right here to view the document. These little three buttons up here is where you can change what's viewed right here, so you can switch it to a corkboard mode if you want to. Or this doesn't have any other scenes in it, but you can have a list of your scenes, the synopsis, label, status, all that stuff. So if I go here and click on that, you can actually see that there is one scene underneath this folder, and it will give the information for that. And then, of course, at the very tippy top up here, you have your toolbar. That's got all of your basic Windows functions. And then right here you have your little format bar. All right, boom, I tricked you guys. So my first little trick on here isn't actually to do with Scrivener so much as using Dropbox. So I'm going to show you guys how to automatically have Scrivener back up to your Dropbox, or you can save to your Dropbox folder while you're offline, and then it will sync when you're online. So it's easier to back up your stuff onto Dropbox from Scrivener. So if you go up here, click on this little arrow, you can click on install right here, and then it will take you to this screen, lovely little screen, and you can just do free download. I've already downloaded it, so I'm obviously not going to do that. But just follow the steps and then boom, you got it. And it will create its own little folder on your computer so that you can open it up like any other folder on your computer. You don't have to actually go to dropbox.com to see your stuff. All right, so back to Scrivener. So you can change where you want your Scrivener to automatically back up to by going to Tools, and click on Options, and then come down here to Back Up. And you can set any of your backup options that you want. You can choose where you want it to back up to. So, this automatically chose its own Scrivener folder. So this is where you would click choose, and then you could go to Dropbox and you could choose to save right here. Now up here you can actually choose whether or not you want it to back up when you open the project. I have it always set to when I close the project. Since I didn't say anything, I'm just gonna click cancel. All right, so the first thing I wanted to go over with you guys before you jump right into writing is using the binder. Now when I first got Scrivener, I downloaded the free trial, but once I got the free trial, I was using it for NaNoWriMo that day. So I literally just jumped in and clicked scene and just like doop started writing. But before we jump into like just going ahead and writing, I wanted to go over some organizational tips that you can use for the binder, or kind of just how to navigate around in it. I've already kind of talked about, like, this is your manuscript right here. You can always close any of these, obviously the ones with arrows. Up here you have your manuscript. You can divide it into chapters. Scrivener will automatically, once you compile, apparently it will automatically label your chapters, like chapter 1, 2, 3. So you don't really have to worry about keeping your chapters numbers in order, but I haven't done a full complete compile, so I don't know any tips on that just yet, sorry. I end up outlining all of my scenes, and I don't break those scenes into chapters until after I have written a lot, or most of my book. So I don't have any chapter folders right now in my manuscript. It's super easy to move any of this around. You just have to click and drag it. If you want to create a new scene, you just go up here and you click this add item button. It automatically is set to add scenes. If you click this little arrow, you can see, you can click on other options that you want, but it's gonna automatically go to new scene if you just click the green button right here. If you want to add something, say I want to add it in this chapter, I go ahead and select the chapter and I click the green button, and then you can go ahead and do scene 1. You can label it however you want to label it. Or if I just wanted this scene up here and I didn't want it in a chapter folder, you just click it again and it'll always go below whatever you currently have selected. So you can always do it that way if you want to, but you know, this just might help you if you want to be a little more organized in the beginning instead of just writing it all out on, you know, the same scene. Alrighty, moving on. Characters. Okay, this is where you would put any of your characters. You can actually, this little view is really nice because once you get a good sized character list, you can easily see all of them and you can just click on whichever one you want. And right here, so going off the characters list, if you go down to template sheets right here and you open that up, there's a character sketch. Super awesome character sketch. So basically you can go ahead and customize this however you want. And then the cool thing too is you can drag images over here so you can see little small images. I tend to just paste the picture right here. It makes it nice and big and bold so I can actually see the character. So if you click on your characters right here and click add new from template, you can say character sketch. Boom, you got a new character. I'm just gonna say Harry Potter because I'm rereading it right now and I've got Harry on my mind. Ooh, that sounded so inappropriate. Did not mean it that way. And then the same for places. So you can right click, add, new from template, settings sketch, and you have the same basic template, I guess. These are really cool, sights, sounds, and smells, because they help your setting come to life. Instead of just describing, you know, buildings and boring stuff, you can actually use your 5 senses a little bit. So here's a little research tab. This is where you obviously keep your research. That sounded stupid. So with your research, you can save things, different websites, pictures, any documents that you make up right here. You can add a little, you know, if you want to talk about the clothes that you have, you can just make a tab that talks about all your clothes. And then you can come up here and go to import. So you can obviously import the files that you currently have on your computer, or you can come down here to website. I'm going to use my website really quick. Click OK. And then wait for it to do its thing. All right, and it's going to give you a generic message that says some stuff might have changed. That's okay. So go to your website right here. Oh, it looks hideously ugly. Sometimes it looks better than this. This looks really ugly. So I guess whatever WebKit they have isn't really compatible with my website right now. But this will change soon enough. My website's gonna change. So if you just click on stuff, like if you clicked Elysian Prophecy right here, it would actually open it up in another screen. But this is the page I wanted it to pull up, so that's the only page that it pulls up. So an awesome thing about this is, say for whatever reason, I really needed some information on tips for young writers in the project that I was writing on. So say I am writing scene 2. I'm up here, I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. I really love Scrivener. And then, oh my gosh, I get to something that I really need some information from my website, but I don't want to get rid of this. So you can come up to this little button right here and click horizontal split, or you can do a vertical split depending on what you want. Let's just do horizontal split. And then you can move your cursor, this little blinky line. If you move that down to here, and basically this one's highlighted now, and you click on your website, boom, your website shows up right there, and it's super tiny, and you're not gonna be able to read it. So just make it bigger, and then you can select, like, let's fit the width, because who can actually see that? Now you can read it right here while you're typing right here. Let's go back to full screen mode. You go back to full screen mode by clicking that button again. So actually, I'm sorry, this is not full screen mode. This is one window mode. Again, a little confused there. So the last thing I wanted to go into really quick is your full screen mode. When I first started Scrivener, I just made a scene, boom, and then I clicked on the full screen mode right here, these two little arrows pointing apart from each other. Click that, and you enter full screen mode. This actually doesn't look as good as it usually does. I mean, you can still see stuff in the background, so it kind of defeats the purpose. But let me go into how to change that. So if you come down here, and if you just want it to be a black background, you can change the fading right here if you actually want to see what's behind. Or boom, if you want to get rid of everything and you just keep typing, you don't have anything behind you. This is lovely. It looks a little depressing right now because there's nothing on it. All right, I actually just copied some text from the prologue for my novel. It's not really inspirational, it's just black on the sides. All right, so instead of that black background we just saw, if you want to actually have a nice picture, say you have something from your setting or something that you would like to have as a background, just go to View. Sorry, I know I clicked on the wrong thing. Go to View, click on Full Screen Backdrop, and then click on Choose. So you can come down here. I'm just gonna pick what I already chose for my other one, and I hope that you guys did not see any. I have my my book cover in there somewhere, so I hope you guys didn't see it. Click on full screen again, and oh, look at this beautiful background. I feel so much more inspired. Anyway, so that's full screen mode. Other than that, you can just start writing. This is how you use Scrivener. So just open up the program. If you want to skip all the other crap, if you don't want to worry about Dropbox right now, if you don't want to worry about any of your character sketches, just create a new scene, title your scene right here, and then get to writing, either right here or you can enter your full screen mode however you want. All right, and let's go on back to my usual recording setup. And we're back. So hopefully that was really informational for some of you. I know it's kind of very introductory, so it might be a little too basic for some people, but for the rest of you, now you know exactly how to get started using it. And like I said, I immediately started writing with it. I didn't spend any time getting to know it at all. I just started using it. And now that you've watched this video, hopefully you can do that too. All right, so make sure you subscribe to my channel if you already haven't. I post new writing videos every Wednesday. And if you ever have any questions or anything that you would like for me to talk about in my new videos, be sure to tweet me at Vivien Reis. Bye guys.